And speaking on that, we have Ambassador Gani, the President, Association of Foreign Relations Professionals of Nigeria, joining us to have a discussion around the Ecowas and coup in the Niger Republic. Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, given your knowledge and experience in foreign relations, what are your impressions about the situation in Niger Republic?
My impression is that this is a very, very sad pill to swallow for Nigeria. Because when Nigeria gives an ultimatum and a country like Niger calls the bluff to the extent of asking Nigerian ambassador to leave or closing our mission, it's a very, very bad development. And I am very, very worried how the matter escalated up to this stage. In the first place, there are three other countries which are under military rule in ECOWAS. Then Niger decides to join them. Before President Tinubu came to power, the ECOWAS has been existing, and they have been managing this problem of unconstitutional change of government. We in the AFRPN, we have presented papers to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on what to do. There are 15 ambassadors that I gathered to put their brains together, and we submitted the paper to the former Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I believe that some of the points that we raised was responsible for avoiding this kind of situation whereby ultimatum is being given to a state, military invasion is being threatened to a state. No, those actions have no place in diplomacy. Diplomacy primarily is a peaceful means of resolving problems. And
But in your
it's a kind of
response now,
give and take.
you said this is a sad one for Nigeria. Everyone seems to be
It
advising
is.
President Tinubu against invading Niger Republic, especially on the implications on Nigeria. But will this situation be about Nigeria alone?
Yeah, this is it now. If you look at the concentric circle of a Nigerian foreign policy, Niger, being a neighbor of Nigeria, is in the first circle that Nigeria should be concerned about what is happening in Niger. But being concerned should be within the interest of Nigeria. We are not going to jeopardize our own national interest in order to please anybody. So handling that matter requires a lot of insights. First, Niger border with Nigeria is not you can't police it because there's a fusion of human beings. In fact, Hausa is the normal language there. So it is being argued that Niger is the 37th state of Nigeria. Do you want to wage war against yourself? Most of the people in the north, they are admixture of Nigeria and Niger. So in a situation like this, Nigeria has to be very careful. We shouldn't go the way we have gone. No, that they made our president the chairman of ECOWAS does not mean that he's going to trade his own national interest for the rest of you. Niger is a French colony. It has a military pact with France. Now, Nigeria doesn't have any pact with Niger. So what does Nigeria gain by attacking Niger? In fact, if Niger decides to dump France, who benefits? It's Nigeria. Well, what it means is that you are now capable of dealing with Niger without the fear of the big bear, which is France outside there. So which that gives you an opportunity to bring in Niger as a brother, as a neighbor, and then understand the problems, and then send people from the north, to meet with the junta and build bridges behind them and allow them to come back to constitutional order.
All right, now that the emissaries sent to the coupists have no positive results, the coupists are not shifting grounds, and ECOWAS is silent after its 7-day ultimatum. So, what other diplomatic means or measures should ECOWAS adopt? What should be the next step now?
I will suppose the next step will be that the AU will have to come to the rescue of ECOWAS in this case. I think AU will have to raise its own delegation, appoint an envoy who will now go to Niger and have dialogue with the coupists, and then from there they begin the process of transiting back to democracy. Don't forget that you cannot tell a state what to do, because given the definition of state from political science, it is agreed that a state is a monopoly of coercive power, which does not take dictation. It doesn't take no for an answer. So you don't dictate to a state. Number two, there is a principle of non-interference in the internal affairs of another state. That has been it's a ground norm of the United Nations, and every nation knows that. So I don't see any reason why anybody will go the way of wanting to attack Niger because a coup has happened there. What about 3 other countries? Are you going to attack them too? You see, what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. In fact, by threatening a state, you are already telling him to open up his arsenal, to be ready to fight to finish, because a state takes no, it doesn't take no for an answer. So if you look at all the definition of state, from the Hobbesian theory up to Machiavelli, up to the Marxist, it is settled that a state is a monopoly of coercive power which takes no dictation from no other person. Then secondly,
Okay, before I
if
let
you
you
now
go,
issue threats to,
sorry, before I
if
let you
you
go, you
issue
mentioned
threats,
the other time that the association, AFRPN, wrote papers to President Muhammadu Buhari's foreign ministry at the time. So are there plans to do same for this current administration in order to, salvage situations?
no, we have not been approached. Definitely, our association is set up to impact the foreign policy of Nigeria from the position of professionalism. There are retired ambassadors, there are serving ambassadors among us. If we are approached, we will choose people who have served around that corridor, who are knowledgeable around that place, to come together, and then we will write a brief and send to government if we are called upon to do so. We have been doing that right from, for instance, this morning, one of our very senior members, retold that when they first created Nigerian Niger Commission, the meeting was held in Jos. The language of the meeting was Hausa all through. It's just because they have to record the thing in English. That's why those of us in the ministry are able to get reports in English. The thing was done in Hausa language. That tells you the affinity,
All right.
between Nigeria and Niger. So all these things will be brought to bear if we are called upon,
Okay.
to advise government on what next. But as I said, as it were now, it is the AU that will come to the aid of ECOWAS in this case.
Okay. Thank you very much for being with us at this time.
Thank you.
And that was Ambassador Gani, the President, Association of Foreign Relations Professionals of Nigeria.